Happy Mother's Day. This is Galactic Storm in World of Tanks. Welcome to the show, and today, I know, it's been a while since I've made another video of World of Tanks. It's been like 2 months. I apologize. I was having too much fun on Titanfall and did 2 videos in a row about it. And today, we're gonna go back right on track on World of Tanks with the 1.2 patch update. It has several features onto it. They added in a new ending, like at the end of the round, such kind of thing. They added medals. They added in also new achievements and such. But there are a lot more key areas onto it too. The first part is that they added in 7 brand new American tank destroyers. They're all from the PC World of Tanks, but they're here in the Xbox 360 version, and they pass just right at the T-82 Tier 3 tank destroyer. And here's the first one, which I think is pretty much of a badass. It's the M8A1 tank destroyer. It's like a mini version of the Hellcat, I think. It's pretty agile but slow handling, but I just tried it and it's amazing. I might have to do another one. And there's the T-49 tank. It doesn't really have any armor onto it. That's a bad thing about it. And here's the infamous M18 Hellcat Tier 6 tank destroyer. It's pretty agile but weak armor though. It has a really good penetration and shell damage too, which makes this thing so famous. Also historical facts too. The T-25-2, which is it's got armor, but it's still not enough compared to like the other tanks that they had. And here is the T-28 prototype. A lot of health, and it finally decides to get turret armor and turret health, and standard shell damage, of course, but it's pretty slow. There's the T-30. It's not as bad as well, but it has less hull armor. And the Tier 10 T-11 or T-110 E4. And yeah, those are the 7 new tanks that were additionally added into the game. But also, like long before then, they added more premium tanks. They added in 5 new Russian tanks, but they also added in the Super Persian, like I said, and the T-34 on that part. And in the British side, they also introduced, finally, the TOG-2. You already had seen a review of my game. If you don't, you'll see it in the playlist below. And they also added in the Yak Panzer. No, not Yak Panzer. The Yak Tiger. It's a pretty powerful tank destroyer. And they also added in the Löwe, which means tiger, or not tiger, lion in German. So yeah, and they also added in new effects onto maps, new 2 maps, and we're going to try to get into those right now. Before we get into the new maps gameplay, I wanted to show you the rain effects and the other effects that they added onto the maps. For Malnovka, Mines, and Cliff, they get rain effects, which are pretty awesome, and if you zoom in like into the tank itself, you'll pretty much get like the rain bouncing off onto your tank. You get night effects on Prokofka, Abbey, and Sand River, but also you add in there's also snow effects on Mountain Pass, and you can pretty much choose them with day or night or rain effects or such. But it's ultimately what the map creator or whatever chooses. So yeah, this is one of the first maps that you'll get onto the update. This is Fisherman's Bay, and this is kind of an odd acting map. It's like Lakeville at first, but there's no paths onto where you can choose. It's ultimately hilly, and it's your choice on where to go. On the right hand side, there's pretty much plains, hills, a few houses, and such. But on the other side, where the water's at, that's pretty much a town that you can go into, and you can actually knock people out onto the docks and that, and into the water. I've seen people do it onto, like in World of Tanks in the PC version. So yeah, this will be my first time playing it, and I do apologize for the sound effects. It's pretty crappy due to the fact that I actually put the thing onto power saver, and if it puts on power saver, it won't work as well. So I do apologize onto that, and I will be silencing the screw ups later into the video. But this is my first time playing it, and I'm on the Hetzer, Tier 4 German tank destroyer, and probably one of my favorite tanks in the game. And I'm using the high explosive rounds. Even though they're expensive, they can penetrate, and they'll do a lot of damage, no matter what tier you're in. But it's highly inaccurate, but yeah. So I'm going to show you guys around into the town itself, and that's where I'm going to get all my action at, and it's going to be crappy, and just like I said, it's not as good as you think, especially with the power saver on. And there's this Panzer II-G, which I was too greedy, and I got this guy, and I pretty much led my ally to his death, so I do apologize in advance. And that is a Panzer 38NA, which is a pretty good penetrating light tank, but I don't think it's really good when it comes to like the Hetzers and that. But here's one of the newer tanks, the M8 Tier 4 tank destroyer, and here comes another one. After blowing up my tracks and destroying that guy, I'm pretty much gonna have to go after this guy and try to distract the others, but unfortunately I get myself killed right about here, just like that, by a Stuart. Oh wait, no. Yeah, that's an M5 Stuart. It's a pretty good light tank. Good speed, good power. Has an inaccurate gun, but it's just as strong as the Hetzer. But I'm showing you around some of these guys right here, just to show you what the map is like from the outside of the area. I don't think we're going to win this part, and as you can see on the left hand side, I forgot to pull this out, it pretty much shows you like how many people you shot or spotted or all that fun stuff. It's one of the newer stuff that they've done in the map itself, or not in the map, but in the gameplay itself. They also added in like an ending and such, like at the end of the rounds, and I'll show you right here. Alright, it's time to show you like what they did to the end of the match, like the statuses of what you did. I really don't like how they added in. They don't tell you like what medals you get and such. You only get them like a huge title screen, and that's about it. But what if you're like distractor or that? But it shows you like in more details like what your travel is, like damage to allies, damage upon sitting, defense based points, and that. I like to see like what you did before, like what kind of tanks you hit and such. I just don't like this one. I prefer the last one, to be honest with you. And I don't know, but it's probably one of the cons on the update. Alright, if you remember Province from the lower tiered map from World of Tanks, you'll pretty much get a similarity somewhat when it comes to like environment wise. This is Abbey, one of the newer maps that you'll get in the 1.2 patch update. And today, well, for this one, there's pretty much a round hill battle onto the middle of the map. And on the sides there are a few paths that you can choose, and there's water all around and such, but it's hilly, and it's like a long distance combat too. It's not like Malinoffco or that, but it's pretty long. And today I'm going to be using the M8A1 tank, which is part of the this is one of the newer tanks that you'll get within the American Tank Destroyer line that they introduced. Anyway, I'm going to be heading into the town and such, and show you what you can do in this area. And you can see that they're already splitting up and going to like different parts and areas of the map. And some of them are pretty much going into this town right here. And ooh, look at that, a Panzer 38NA. And I spotted it, and like I said with the last one, you get medals that show you like what you did and such, and you spotted a few enemies, you pretty much get those. And the Panzer 38's trying to shoot at me and such, but it's not doing any damage so far. It's a decently armored tank, but it's very agile like a Hellcat, and it has a nice choice of guns. It's pretty powerful too, and holy crap, there's an AT2. And I did very little damage onto it, so I'm gonna pull back with AT2s because they're very powerful and I won't do jack shit with them, against them pretty much. So I'm gonna go this way to the side of the hill, and I'm gonna be walking down. Kind of reminds me of you being in Greece, doesn't it? Mountainy, hilly, and the town itself. And there's a steward right there. One of those, I think it's a M4, M3 Stewart? Yeah, M3 Stewart. And with 2 shots, I took it down like a badass. I tried going up here since this is one of the few times I was in this map, and unfortunately you can't really do that, so I decided to pull back and try to turn around and see what I can do next. So I'm gonna move down here, and looks like the AT2 that was just down here got his ass kicked, and Jose agrees. Jose would always agree with me, and I saw his relatives at the zoo a while ago. Not really, but yeah, birds. Nah. Anyway, I'm gonna be looking around, and I'm being shot at right down there. And also, with once your enemy gets spotted, and you actually take credit onto getting spot shots onto it. And here's an M4 Sherman, and you can see like the handling on the gun, and yeah, it went down. And the last tank right here is about to get its ass handed to it. T1 Heavy finished it off, and we pretty much won. It was an easy victory. And yeah, I like the M8A1. I'm gonna have to do a review on it. I think I'll do one right after this video. So yeah, and it's ×5 multiplier, and I got a mastery badge, 3 class 50%, which is pretty good. And I had 6 shots fired. I had 283 damage, and I destroyed 2 tanks. I damaged 3 tanks, and then damage upon spotting 308, which is that's pretty good. So yeah, let's go to the results on the patch. So ultimately, in 1.2, they added in 2 new maps, which was Fisherman Bay and Abbey. They added in minor stuff. They added in the ending. It's more upgraded now. I don't like it. I prefer the older version of it. They added in like the medals that you can get, like spotted medals, getting credit for spotting them and while they're firing at them and such, critically damaged, destroying, yada da 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 da. They add in effects onto some maps like rain effects, night effects, snow effects. They also added in 7 new American tank destroyers, which means they have 2 branches of the Americans, which is the most out of the others. But there's going to be more that's going to be coming in. Ultimately, 1.2, I think it was okay. I think 1.1 was better though. Rate, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. I'm at 195 subscribers, so let's jump it up to 200, which means 200 people out of like millions and millions and millions like me, and I greatly appreciate it, and I really thank the people for watching me and such. I mean, it's I've been really thinking this out since day 1, and I am really happy that people like it. So yeah, and this is Galactic Storm, and I say I'll see you guys later.